saw pirates, yes they robbed by, sold I to the merchant ship. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. In my hands they were as made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward this generation triumphantly, and won't you help to sing these songs of freedom for all I ever am? Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, 'cause none but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear from atomic energy, nothing can stop time. How long must we kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book, and won't you help me sing these songs of freedom for all I ever had? Redemption song, redemption song, redemption song.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I'm going to break down a very simple but beautiful song by Bob Marley. This one is entitled Redemption Song. Let's get started. Okay, we have a close look at the neck. We're going to get started learning the iconic intro. This is a very simple set of techniques, yet there are some subtleties that I feel a lot of guitar players tend to leave out. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, many players just kind of play it straight. Alright, but we're going to try to get it as close to what Bob had as possible. Alright, all these notes are coming from the G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. But perhaps more recognizably from this open position version of that scale. Actual notes that we're playing throughout the melody: 3rd fret of the low E string, open A string, 2nd fret, staccato, very short, and then back to the 3rd fret of the low E string. That's our first phrase. Ba, bum, bum. One more time, 3, 0, short on the 2. Next phrase is going to sound like this. Alright, so we're going from 2 to 3, a hammer kind of. Very fast though, that's how he gets that sound. It's very jagged, it's very rough around the edges. And then a quick little hammer on onto the 2nd fret of the D string. The time between the hammer and the actual note is super, super short. That's why it's very hard to detect and probably why a lot of guitar players miss it. Then the open D string and the 2nd fret of the A string. So that second phrase would sound like this. Together. Okay, the 3rd phrase will sound like this. Alright, all we're doing there is the 3rd fret of the low E string, open A string, and then a quick little hammer onto the 2nd fret, again hardly noticeable, and then the open D string. Finally, that's followed by this last idea. Alright, so there was the 2nd fret of the A string, play it once, then hammer onto the 3rd fret from that same fret. Back to the 2, open A string, and 3rd fret of the low E string. All right, all those parts together. Part number 1. Part number 2. Part number 3. Part number 4. Okay, so the second time around, he's going to do basically the same exact thing with just a slight difference at the end. So he's going through the motions. Part number 1. Part number 2. Part number 3. And then part number 4 will now become this. Just a plain old 3, 2, 0 on the A string, and then a resolve down on the G note, 3rd fret, low E string. Okay, moving on to our chord progressions. We essentially have 3 different chord progressions that we have to learn, starting with the verse. It's a simple G major, E minor, C major, and A minor progression, but there will be a G/B in between the C and A minor, like this. Altogether, that progression will sound like this.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I.
C major, sword I, G/B,
the merchant ships.
So that G major is going to be for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. C major, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 beats, divided them on C major and G/B, and then 4 beats on A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, with the words.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I. Sword I to the merchant ships.
Okay, he's going to repeat that 3 times before going into the chorus. Now, when you're going through those verses, your strumming pattern, it can be really, really, really broad. There really isn't any set strumming pattern, though you'll see a lot of players kind of doing a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. Bob is super loose and also kind of funky as he goes through his chord changes. So you can use that strumming pattern as kind of the basis, but you'll see him go to the E minor and kind of do like a pump his hand a little bit, down, up, down, down, as he kind of shortens the notes a little bit. All right, very reggae, very cool kind of style of strumming. From the C major, he'll often do that same thing over the A minor chord. Just kind of improvising his strumming. So my advice for you in terms of trying to get the strumming pattern down is just be free with it. Try to be as expressive as you can, just like Bob, and don't necessarily follow all the rules and try to keep everything the same. Try to vary it and make it as interesting as possible. Okay, so after repeating that chord progression, G, E minor, C major, G/B, and then A minor, we're going to change one little thing on the 4th time around. We're going G, E minor, C major. We're just going to stay there for 4 beats before going to D major for a total of 8 beats. So coming out of the end of that verse, it would sound like this.
My hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward this generation.
Here we go, C major.
Triumphantly.
So right on Lee, at the end of triumphantly, we're going to the D major chord.
Won't you help to sing?
And that'll take us right into our chorus. Getting started with our chorus, this is a very cool chord progression. Starts off on the G chord on sing.
Won't you help to sing?
Then we're gonna go C and D and G, G, C and D and, then he changes gears, E minor, and then C, D, G. He tends to repeat that C, D, G a couple more times as he sings.
Redemption songs, redemption songs.
Now that will either get him back into a verse, or you'll see later in the song he goes into an instrumental section as well. Okay, so after that chorus, Bob's going to go into his verse one more time.
Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. There's none but ourselves can free our minds.
So on and so forth. Then he goes into another chorus.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom for all I ever had. Redemption songs. See if you can continue. Redemption songs. You extend this one a little bit. Redemption songs. One more time. Redemption songs. He'll throw in another C and a D, then that'll get him into his instrumental section. E minor chord, C major, C and a D. He does this 4 times. Wild with the strumming before repeating the second verse again, word for word, but with a little bit more energy. So that E minor section, we're going down, up, down, up, down. But I'm throwing in a little bit of a chuck there. So we kind of like down, chuck, up, down. C, 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 D, D, D. And we're just kind of throwing in some 8th note strums. I like going down, down, up, down, down, up, down, chuck, up, down, 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 up. Now because I'm not using a pick there, I'm just kind of covering up the strings and scratching my nails against the strings. Okay, so if you have the verse, the chorus, and that instrumental section down, you've done it. You've completed the song. You're ready now to put all those parts together and form your own version. Okay, everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on Bob Marley's Redemption Song. I got plenty more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe. I'm Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.